Hi everyone, today we're going to learn how to create a radial symmetry name project. The first step is to take a square piece of paper, it really doesn't matter what size, fold it in half, open it, fold it in half again, open it, fold it corner to corner, and then open it and fold it corner to corner again. You will be getting 8 triangles out of your folds. Now you're going to need a triangle that's the same size as your fold, so I suggest doing this process twice and then cutting out the triangles from one of your folded papers. So on one of my triangles, which is the same size as that I'll use to put on my folded paper, I am writing Mrs. B, that's the name I'm choosing, and I'm writing that to fill that triangle. So I'm using bubble letters. I'm doing all capitals because I feel that all capitals are easier. However, you can do lowercase letters as well. You just want to make sure that you get all the way up to the point of the triangle and get all the way from end to end. So I've used my bubble letters, and then I'm going to outline it with a permanent marker. If you don't have a permanent marker, any marker or dark colored pencil would work. You do need to have it outlined though, otherwise it's going to be really hard to see when you try to trace it onto your real paper. Once I finish outlining it, I am going to be flipping it over and I'm going to be tracing this backwards. So if you can't see what you've just done by flipping it over, go bring it to a window, get a pencil, and trace it backwards. Now I'm just taking my permanent marker and I'm tracing it backwards because I can see through it. I know it's hard to see on this video, but where I'm sitting I can see through it, so I'm just going over it. Don't try to redraw your name because you do want your name to be backwards on the back side of your triangle. Now if you make a lot of mistakes, if you've cut out a bunch of triangles from one of your pieces of paper, you can definitely try this over again. And if your name doesn't work, do a nickname, make it shorter. That makes it a little easier. Now here I'm using a light board because I don't have any windows in my classroom, but again, you can use windows to do this. I've taken my triangle with my name on it. I've got it where I can see where it says Mrs. B. It's not going backwards. And I have it lined up with one of the triangles on the paper I've folded. Now I always am going to have it where the B is in the center of my project. So what I'm going to do for this next one is I'm going to flip my paper, my triangle that I've made. I'm going to flip it and I'm going to put it on the back again, and I'm going to trace it going backwards now, and the B is always in the center. So every single time I flip it, I need to check, is it matched up in my triangle space on my paper, and is the B in the center? Now if you do it on a window, it's going to be a little bit harder to do just because your paper will probably move a little bit more. I'm totally flat right here when I'm doing it, so you could take a piece of tape every single time you flip your triangle. You can go ahead and kind of tape it onto the back of your paper to help you. Now you definitely want to use a pencil when you're doing the tracing part so that if you make mistakes you can just erase it. So I'm finishing my whole paper. I'm going to go through and do all 8 of them, and then I'm going to outline. Now this is really good to show radial symmetry. I talk to my students about, you know, what fraction is it if you've got half of it done? What fraction do you have if you do 3 of your triangles? So we try to add a little math into there as well. And then here my camera must have cut me out, but I started to outline it with permanent marker. Again, if you don't have permanent marker at home, you can use any marker. You don't have to outline it at all. It's easier for my students once they outline it to see where they're going to need to color. So I always have my students outline it, but again, that's not necessary to do this project. After I finished outlining it, I'm going to erase all of my pencil lines that I see. There's a student right there that comes with me after school, and she's helping me point out where I need to erase. the last step for this project is you're going to have to choose a color scheme to color it. So my students talk about the color wheel. We do primary, secondary, warm, cool colors, but I let them choose a lot more than that. We do complementary colors. I had a student choose, which would be opposites on the color wheel. So one of my students chose yellow and violet, which are opposite. We do analogous colors, which are colors right next to each other on the color wheel. You can do monochromatic colors, which are colors, tints and shades of the exact same colors. So I had a student who did a scale of gray, or you could do like pink and red and do tints and shades of pinks and reds. I've chosen cool colors on mine, and I'm only coloring my name for mine, but I do have my students, depending on the time that they have, to color their background as well. Now, some of my students are really fast colorers and they need to color the whole project, and other students, if we get done with, class period and they're not close to being done, I will just have them color their name part and then leave the background white. So here is one of my students. She chose primary colors. She colored the whole thing. And then here's another one that chose warm colors, and they also have colored the whole project. Thank you for watching.